Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. In this video I will show you how to solder 2.54mm pin headers on a PCB or a module. Such as this one, I have a Pololu dual H-bridge motor driver here. It's a very common maker's task, and especially if you are beginning, this video I hope will be quite useful for you. Nowadays there is a module for everything, and it's almost always cheaper and safer to ship them without the header soldered on. Most of the PCBs can be shipped as letter because it fits in the package dimensions of a lot of the postal services out there. And more importantly, it's safer to ship them this way because the headers could bend during shipping and could break the PCB, all sorts of problems. So next time you are buying a module, don't hesitate to buy the ones without the headers soldered on because it's quite easy and it's almost always safer and cheaper for you. So if you have noticed, there are 7 pads on inside of our module and we have 14 pin headers here. So we just need to break it in the middle. You can just count it and carefully break it with your fingers, or you can use some side cutters, flash cutters to break this header into 2 pieces. Yeah, I hope this is the middle. We'll just break the headers into 2. First step, quite optional. You need to clean the PCB, the pads, not the other parts, just the pads and the pins. It's okay if you just, took it out of the package, but especially if it's stored in a poor condition, a humid garage, down in a box with 25 other unfinished projects, things could get a bit crusty and from your hands, the oils, etc. So we want to clean the pads and the pins to just make sure that there's nothing between the solder, the pads and the pins. So to clean our pads and the pins, I will use a Q-tip. You can use a cotton swab or a piece of cloth. Anything lint-free will work. And I will use some isopropyl alcohol. I'm not going to drench the PCB into isopropyl alcohol. I'll just put a bit on the tip of the Q-tip here, and I will just rub the pads and the pins. Just go through the pads gently. I don't need to clean the middle. And once you're done cleaning the pads, and I'll just do it to the other side too, because this is going to be the top of our module after it's soldered. And I will do the same for the pins. And once you are done cleaning, try not to touch the pads or the pins, especially the parts that you will solder on, so it doesn't get any oil from your hands. To make things a little bit easier, I'm going to use a breadboard to hold our module, and this is a breadboard that has already seen some action, in particular some power MOSFET action. What we will do now could possibly damage the contacts on the breadboard, which are already known to be flaky anyway. So if you are using a breadboard for soldering purposes, don't use it for prototyping purposes unless absolutely necessary. I'm using just a cheap, already damaged one like this. You can get one for this purpose, or you can use an old crusty one for this purpose. It's all good. All right, so next thing that we want to do is to put our headers onto the module, and looks like there was an extra. So I was pretty sure that was a 14 pin header, but apparently I don't know how to count. So they have like an extra pin on each end. I can leave it as is, or I can just remove it. I'm gonna remove like 1 pin from each header, again using the side cutters. Now we'll just fit the headers into our module, and I'm just holding it from both the top and the bottom while doing that, so the headers stay in place. Same for this side, and then I will place it on the breadboard. So most modules are just standard size that could be placed on the breadboard. I'm just aligning it, the headers with the breadboard, and give it a little push. And now once we check it, it's nice and fit onto the breadboard. And this is another optional step. I'm just going to apply some flux to the pads and the pins. And I'm using a no clear flux pen, really cheap one, but it's good enough for the job. So now I have my module nicely sitting on the breadboard, and my soldering iron is at 300 degrees Celsius, and the solder that I'm using is a lead-free solder. That is quite a good temperature for it. And now our PCB is on the breadboard, it's fluxed and all good. Now one tip here is don't start with power rails, especially ground pin, because in most PCBs, especially the ground pin is connected to a ground plane, which can act like a heatsink. and it will be trickier to solder that pin compared to other pins. And we want these first joints on both ends to be easier, so if you make a mistake, you can just melt it again and fix that any alignment issues with the header and module, etc. It's going to be a little bit tricky with the ground pin, especially if your soldering iron is on the cheaper end. So I will start with any other pin really from both ends, doesn't matter, as long as it's not ground or power rails. A bit of a tip maintenance first. I applied a bit of solder to the tip and just clean it. And now before we start again, I will apply a little bit of solder to the tip for better heat transfer, and then I will just touch the pad and melt the solder on the pad once the pad is clear. So I'm not going to feed the solder onto the tip of the soldering iron. Once you're done with one pin on one side, you want to do a visual inspection so it's nicely aligned. Yeah, looks like there are no problems whatsoever. Then we can just solder another pin on the other side. Bit of solder on the tip of your soldering iron for heat transfer. Right, looks pretty good. Yeah, everything seems to be aligned properly. Now we can solder the rest of the pins. Refresh the solder on the tip of your soldering iron. That's important for the heat transfer. And always feed the solder to the pad or the pin, but not on the soldering iron itself. Alright, so you're already having some problems with the ground pin if you noticed, but okay, now it came back to its senses. Now the other side, we are going to do the same. Yeah, looks pretty good. Let's have a visual inspection. They should be all shiny and nicely sitting on top of the pads. You can always test your solder joints as well using a multimeter's connectivity function, but usually it's a very easy task, and as long as the pads are nicely covered with solder, it should be fine. Now I'm just going to take out this module, have another visual inspection. Yeah, everything looks pretty neat. So most modules such as this one have pin headers on both sides, and which will fit into the breadboard nicely, and this method will work fine. But if you have a module that is not really breadboard compatible or just have headers on one side, then you can always pop it onto the breadboard using one side, and obviously it will wiggle since it only has headers on one end. Then you can wait some additional headers underneath it to balance it, and then you can solder the headers the same way. So yeah, that's pretty much all to it. You have a module nicely soldered with headers here. Again, don't hesitate to buy the modules without the pin headers, because it's a very easy task. You can get away with cheaper soldering irons. And the last thing that you want to do after you are done with soldering is a bit of tip maintenance. I just want to, because we want to look after our soldering iron, add a bit of solder on the tip and pop it back in there and turn it off if you are not planning to use it any longer. So that's all to it. Thanks for watching my video. See you next time.